Intro. If you've ever been woken up at 5 in the morning by a paw tapping your face, or come home late from work worried that your dog or cat hasn't eaten on time, you already know why automatic pet feeders have become one of the most popular gadgets for pet owners. These devices take the guesswork and the guilt out of feeding, letting you schedule precise portions, keep food fresh, and even check in on your furry friend from your phone while you're at work, asleep, or out of town. But with dozens of feeders on the market ranging from simple timer-based hoppers to app-connected smart dispensers with cameras and voice recording, picking the right one can feel overwhelming. That's exactly why we've put together this countdown of the 7 best automatic pet feeders available right now, starting at number 7 and working our way up to the single best option you can buy today. We'll cover capacity, portion accuracy, app features, backup power, and who each feeder is really built for. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one deserves a spot in your kitchen. Number 7. WO Pet Smart Feeder. Kicking off our list at number 7 is the WO Pet Smart Feeder, a reliable, no-frills option that proves you don't need a ton of bells and whistles to keep your pet fed on a consistent schedule. This feeder is built around a generous hopper that can hold a substantial supply of dry kibble, so you're not constantly refilling it every couple of days, which makes it a solid pick for households with 1 or 2 pets who eat standard portions. What makes the WO Pet stand out among budget-friendly feeders is its surprisingly sturdy conveyor-style dispensing mechanism, designed specifically to reduce the jamming issues that plague cheaper models when kibble pieces get lodged in the dispensing chute. Anyone who has dealt with a feeder that silently stops working because of a jam knows how frustrating that can be, especially if you only discover the problem after your pet has already missed a meal. The WO Pet also offers customizable dispensing sizes, allowing you to set anywhere from small portions for a picky cat to larger meals for a hungrier dog, and its programmable timer lets you schedule multiple feedings throughout the day so your pet eats on a routine even when you're not physically home to scoop the bowl yourself. Where this feeder is less impressive is on the tech side. It leans low-tech compared to some of the Wi-Fi connected options further up this list, meaning there's no smartphone app, no remote adjustments, and no live camera feed to check in on your pet. For some owners, that's actually a selling point, since there's less that can go wrong with connectivity or firmware updates, and the controls are simple enough that anyone in the household can operate it without reading a manual. It also includes a voice recording feature, so you can record a short message that plays at mealtime, which is a nice touch for pets who respond well to hearing their owner's voice. Overall, the WO Pet Smart Feeder earns its place on this list as a dependable, easy-to-use option for pet owners who want consistency and portion control without paying for smart features they may never use. It's a great entry point if you're testing out automatic feeding for the first time and don't want to invest heavily before knowing whether the routine works for your pet. Number 6. CatMate C500 Automatic Pet Feeder. Moving up to number 6, we have the CatMate C500, a feeder that has earned a loyal following among cat owners specifically because of its clever multi-pet design. Unlike many automatic feeders that assume you're feeding a single animal, the CatMate C500 is built with rotating trays that let you separate and store up to 5 individual meals of either dry or wet food, which is a huge advantage if you have multiple cats with different feeding schedules or dietary needs, or if you simply want to prepare meals in advance for several days at once. Each compartment can be programmed to open at a specific time, and once it opens, the food underneath is exposed for your pet to eat, while the surrounding compartments remain sealed to keep food fresh and prevent your pet from grazing on future meals ahead of schedule. This makes it one of the better choices for feeding wet food automatically, something a lot of dry kibble-only feeders simply can't handle well. The unit also includes an ice pack compartment underneath the rotating tray, which helps keep wet food cooler for longer and reduces the risk of spoilage if you're going to be away for an extended period, such as a weekend trip. Battery backup is another strong point here, since the C500 can run on batteries alone if needed, which protects against power outages disrupting your pet's feeding schedule at the worst possible time. On the downside, the C500 doesn't offer smartphone connectivity or remote control, so once you've set the schedule, you're committed to it until you physically reprogram the unit, and the digital display, while functional, feels a bit dated compared to some of the sleeker touchscreen options on this list. There's also a learning curve to programming the rotating trays correctly, and some pets who are especially food-motivated may attempt to nose their way into the sealed compartments, though the locking lid generally holds up well against that kind of curiosity. Despite those minor drawbacks, the CatMate C500 remains one of the most trusted names in multi-pet and wet food automation, and it's an excellent pick for households juggling more than one cat or a mix of feeding schedules. Number 5. SureFeed Microchip Pet Feeder. At number 5, we have a feeder that solves a very specific but very common problem: multi-pet households where one animal keeps stealing another's food. The SureFeed microchip pet feeder uses your pet's existing microchip, or an optional RFID collar tag if your pet isn't chipped, to recognize exactly which animal is approaching the bowl, and it will only open the lid for the pet or pets you've authorized to eat from it. This is a genuine game changer for homes where a food-motivated dog or a dominant cat routinely muscles in on another pet's meal, because it removes the need to feed animals in separate rooms or supervise every mealtime just to keep the peace. The sealed lid also has the added benefit of keeping food fresher for longer and preventing insects or curious pets from getting into it between scheduled meals. Setup is fairly straightforward. You register each pet's microchip or tag with the unit, and from that point forward the feeder only responds to the assigned identifiers, closing again once that pet walks away so the food stays protected. This makes it particularly popular among cat owners managing a household where one cat needs a prescription or weight management diet that absolutely cannot be shared with the others, since the SureFeed ensures the right animal eats the right food every time. Where the SureFeed falls a bit short compared to feeders further up this list is in its capacity and dispensing precision. It's designed primarily as an access control feeder rather than a portion control feeder, meaning it's less about carefully measuring out exact cup amounts on a timer and more about ensuring the correct pet reaches the food that's already there. So if precise calorie management is your primary concern, you may want to pair it with manually portioned meals. It also works with any type of pet food, wet or dry, which adds flexibility, but the batteries can drain relatively quickly with heavy use, so it's worth keeping spares on hand. Even with those limitations, the SureFeed microchip pet feeder is an outstanding, purpose-built solution for the specific and surprisingly common headache of multi-pet food theft, and for that reason alone, it earns a firm spot in the middle of our countdown. Number 4. Pet Libro Air Wi-Fi Feeder. Landing at number 4 is the Pet Libro Air Wi-Fi Feeder, a slim, space-saving unit that has become a favorite for cat owners specifically because of how well it balances affordability with genuinely useful smart features. Its standout characteristic is its shape. Rather than the boxy, bulky look of many automatic feeders, the Air is narrow and tall, meaning it takes up a fraction of the floor space while still holding a solid amount of dry kibble. That slim profile also makes it easier to tuck into a kitchen corner or against a wall without it becoming an eyesore in your living space, which matters more than people expect once they actually live with one of these devices day to day. On the functional side, the Pet Libro Air connects to your home Wi-Fi network and pairs with a companion smartphone app, letting you schedule feedings, adjust portion sizes remotely, and trigger an extra out-of-schedule meal if you're running late getting home, all from wherever you happen to be. The app also sends notifications confirming that a scheduled meal was successfully dispensed, which offers real peace of mind if you're traveling or working long hours and want confirmation your cat has actually eaten rather than just hoping the schedule ran correctly. It's also robust and well-built for its price point, with a sturdy dispensing mechanism that has a reputation for being reliable even after extended daily use, avoiding the jamming issues that plague some cheaper Wi-Fi feeders. Where the Air comes up slightly short is in multi-pet scenarios, since it's really designed with single-cat households in mind, and it doesn't have the dual bowl or portion splitting features you'll find in some of the feeders ranked above it. It also lacks a built-in camera, so if you want visual confirmation of your pet actually eating rather than just a dispensing notification, you'll need to look elsewhere. That said, for the price, the combination of a compact footprint, dependable hardware, and genuinely useful app connectivity makes the Pet Libro Air one of the smartest buys on this entire list, especially for anyone feeding a single cat in a smaller living space. Number 3. Pet Libro 5L Dual Bowl Automatic Feeder. Coming in at number 3 is a feeder that directly addresses one of the most common frustrations in multi-cat households, the mad dash and food stealing scramble that happens the moment kibble hits the bowl. The Pet Libro 5L Dual Bowl Automatic Feeder splits every dispensed meal evenly between two separate stainless steel bowls, so instead of two cats racing each other to gobble down a single pile of food, each one gets their own fair portion at the exact same moment, which noticeably reduces mealtime tension and competitive eating. Stainless steel bowls themselves are a meaningful upgrade over the plastic trays included with many budget feeders, since steel resists bacteria buildup, doesn't retain odors the way plastic can over time, and holds up far better to repeated washing without scratching or degrading. The unit's 5-liter hopper is generously sized, giving you roughly 2 to 3 weeks of feeding runway for a couple of average-sized cats before a refill is needed, which is a real convenience if you travel periodically or simply don't want to think about pet food every few days. Like the better feeders on this list, it connects to Wi-Fi and pairs with a smartphone app, letting you build a custom feeding schedule adjust portion sizes for each mealtime, and dispense an extra snack remotely if you want to reward good behavior from a distance. The sealed hopper design also helps keep kibble fresh by limiting exposure to air and humidity, which matters more than people realize since stale kibble can affect a picky cat's willingness to eat on schedule in the first place. On the downside, the dual bowl format only makes sense if you actually have two pets who eat similar amounts and similar food. If you have 3 or more animals, or pets with very different dietary needs, you may find the two-bowl split isn't flexible enough for your situation. It's also a larger unit overall, given that it needs to accommodate 2 separate bowls plus the hopper mechanism, so it requires a bit more floor space than single-bowl designs. Even with those caveats, if you're specifically managing a 2-cat household and tired of feeding time chaos, this feeder solves that exact problem better than almost anything else on the market. Number 2. PetLabro Granary Wi-Fi Feeder. Just barely missing the top spot at number 2 is the PetLabro Granary Wi-Fi Feeder, widely regarded as the best all-around automatic feeder for the price, and for good reason. What sets the Granary apart is the sheer range of its portion control. It lets you dispense anywhere from 1 to 48 individual portions per meal, with each portion equal to roughly 1/12 of a cup, giving you an extraordinary level of precision whether you're feeding a tiny kitten who needs just a sprinkle of food or a large, active dog who needs several full cups at once. That granularity becomes especially valuable if your veterinarian has ever told you to slightly reduce your pet's portions for weight management, because it lets you make small, exact adjustments rather than guessing at what a little less actually means in practice. The Granary's 5-liter hopper holds about 20 cups of kibble, translating to roughly 2 weeks of feeding for a single average cat before you need to top it off. And the whole unit connects over 5 GHz Wi-Fi for a more stable and faster connection to its companion app than many competing feeders that rely on slower 2.4 GHz only connections. Through that app, you can build detailed feeding schedules, adjust portions on the fly from anywhere, and receive confirmation notifications when a meal successfully dispenses, all wrapped into a genuinely polished and reliable user experience that rarely glitches or disconnects, a common complaint with cheaper smart feeders. At around $100, it also represents outstanding value, delivering features that would cost significantly more from other brands. The dispensing mechanism itself has built a strong reputation for consistency, avoiding the clogging and jamming issues that can plague high portion range feeders trying to accurately measure such small increments. Where the Granary comes up just short of the top spot is precision at the extreme edges, because it measures by volume rather than weight. Slight variations in kibble size or shape can cause tiny portion inconsistencies over time, something that matters most to owners managing a pet's weight under strict veterinary guidance. Even so, for the vast majority of pet owners, the PetLabro Granary Wi-Fi feeder delivers essentially everything you could want, making it an incredibly easy recommendation and a very close runner-up for the number 1 spot. Number 1. Whisker Feeder Robot. Topping our list at number 1 is the Whisker Feeder Robot, a premium feeder that justifies its higher price tag through a feature that genuinely sets it apart from every other option on this countdown. Gram-level portion accuracy powered by a real-time built-in scale. While most automatic feeders, including every other one on this list, measure portions by volume using rotating discs or conveyor mechanisms, the feeder robot's dispensing intelligence system actually weighs the food as it's dispensed, which eliminates the small but real portion drift that happens with volume-based feeders when kibble pieces vary in size, shape, or density between bags or brands. For most pet owners, that difference might sound minor, but for anyone managing a pet's weight under strict veterinary orders, recovering from an illness that requires exact caloric intake, or caring for a senior pet whose diet needs careful monitoring, that level of precision can genuinely matter for long-term health outcomes. Beyond its standout accuracy, the feeder robot includes the smart features you'd expect at this price point, including full smartphone app control, custom feeding schedules, portion adjustments from anywhere, and detailed historical data showing exactly how much your pet has eaten and when, which creates a useful long-term record you can share directly with your veterinarian if any health concerns come up. The build quality also reflects its premium positioning, with a sturdy, well-sealed hopper designed to keep kibble fresh and a dispensing mechanism engineered specifically to minimize the jamming and clogging issues that can plague less expensive feeders over months of daily use. At around $300, it's undeniably a significant investment compared to the other feeders on this list, and that price will be more than many casual pet owners want or need to spend, especially if precise gram-level accuracy isn't a priority for a young, healthy pet with no special dietary requirements. It's also a larger, more complex piece of hardware than something like the WO-Pet or CatMate, meaning there's simply more that could theoretically go wrong compared to simpler mechanical designs. But for pet owners who need genuine precision, detailed feeding data, and the reliability to match a premium price, the Whisker Feeder Robot earns its place as the best automatic pet feeder you can buy right now.